there, so lovely small, with nations free, with people French and Dutch, though talking English much, as they say Martin in the sea. Oh, sweet St. Martin land, so bright by beach and strand, with sailors on the sea and harbors free, where the chains of mountains gleam, variously in sunlight cheap. Oh, I love that paradise, nature's beauty, see very nice. Oh, I love that paradise, nature's beauty, very nice. How pretty between all green, flamboyance beaming gleam, flowers red by sunlight set, like cows and sheep and goats in meadows or on roads, like donkeys can't forget. Oh, see, St. Martin land, so bright by beach and strand, with sailors on the sea and harbors free, where the chains of mountains gleam, variously in sunlight cheap. Oh, I love paradise, nature's beauty, very nice. Oh, I love that paradise, nature's beauty, very nice. Oh, I love that paradise, nature's beauty, very nice. Oh, I love that paradise, nature's beauty, very nice. Nature's beauty, very nice. Nature's beauty, very nice.
Everyone that's being honored this evening, because of them, I exist. I exist as an artist, a professional artist. I exist because I was that little child on St. Martin that everybody poured their energies into. And they didn't do it to keep me busy. They did it to instill in me artistry that goes beyond everything: excellence, greatness, history, legacy, all of the things that make a person dense, rich, full, and they become a vanguard, a storyteller for St. Martin. So for everyone that you see on this stage and for all of the other persons that will be coming to the stage, they have all been very instrumental in being the persons that tell an amazing story, the story of us. I could say history, but that's taking it out of us into somebody else's hand. So I always say, we story. You agree? If you want to know anything about St. Martin, anything, You look at the etchings of Roland Richardson. You listen to the drums of our yesteryear's drummers. You listen to the nimble fingers on the keyboards and the string instruments. You listen to the voices and you see the dancers, because in our bodies live our story. This is the depository of everything of us. Everything is stored: our joys, our pain, our sorrows, our triumphs, our failures. Everything is in this body. And artists are the persons that unlock the key, and it tells the story. Many times I'm sure you heard of songs and you say, oh, wow, that person is singing my song. That poet is saying my words, because that's what we do. So on this Sage Award, reaching into our core cultural values, it's an opportunity to give thanks and reverence and honor for those that walk the path, in a lot of times unrecognized, a lot of times unheard, but everything they did reverberates through the ages, from way back when to way back forward and forever. So for this moment, as you see these wonderful human beings on this stage who keeps the story of us in their bodies, this is our opportunity to give them thanks and praise and honor and reverence for their dreams, their visions, their fortitude, their excellence, their approach to living a full and dense life. So on that note, thank you all for coming. I will make way for the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, to continue with his words of welcome and message of support. Thank you.
Protocol having been established, I would like to say thank you, Clara, for the introduction, and good evening. Good evening. Okay. Tonight is a very special night, or a very special evening. I remember the voices on the radios. I remember persons calling in on talk shows. During the funeral service of the late Mr. Leno Hughes, I remember young Dow, Mr. Isidore York, saying, "Don't wait until we die to honor us." So the message this evening, the ceremony this evening, coming from the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, under the Department of Culture, with the head of the department, Miss Clara Reyes, we have brought the Sage Cultural Awards. And the idea behind the Sage Cultural Awards has been explained. Our people have demonstrated with diligence, with patience, with hard work, and with everything that they had. And they kept everything that they got from their heritage, from their great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers, and were able to pass it on to us. When you look on the stage this evening, you can see persons of different generations. Here on the stage, I even have my brother, Roosevelt Samuel, and Roosevelt is the son of one of the sons of James Robert Samuel, better known as Jim Tucker. I am his brother, and we do have other siblings. So in my world, I have Roosevelt from one generation, I am from one generation, and that's also culturally how we did it. Even though we don't do it culturally so much like that anymore. So on the 9th of May, 2021, I wrote a request to the head of the Department of Culture, and I said, I want us to legislate, to put down on paper in a way that it cannot change the aspects of the culture of who we are. Our food, our dress wear, the way we dance, the songs we sing, the things we do, the things we say them. And when we have done this, we have then preserved for the generations to come to know why we are who we are, the St. Martiner. I said, who we are, the St. Martiner. This evening, indeed, I am happy, and with great humbleness, I say to you, the Sage Cultural Award is here, and the idea is that every year, in a very structural way, we will honor our people. And this is a way that St. Martin is saying thank you, and that St. Martin is grateful for the contribution that these persons make. So I know we have to start somewhere, and someone have to be first, because when we began to do the research, we have found so many names, and we know that we have a lot of work to do in order to make this all possible. So this evening, I would like to say congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you for the persons in your life who have also given you the opportunity to do the things you have done. And definitely thank you on behalf of St. Martin. Have a great evening.
I cannot play my instrument since I married Millicent. Cannot play my instrument since I married Millicent. From the time the lady wake, not let my sax for heaven's sake. She said she like to play the tune. Remember the old time honeymoon saxophone. Leave me sax alone. You're blowing it out the tune. You can't make the note saxophone to carry you have your truth. Leave my sax alone. You're blowing it out the tune. You can't make the note saxophone to carry you have your truth. Into the middle of the night, Millie said she had me in a fight, blowing off the thing before she could. Look, she nearly went in neighborhood. I said, but Millie, that is not right. You can't disturb the peace at night. They never talking what I'm said. I gotta play before I go to bed. Sax up, leave my sax alone. You're blowing it out the truth. You can't make the note saxophone to hear you have it. Leave my sax alone. You're blowing it out the truth. You can't make the note saxophone to hear you have your truth.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Eddie, let me tell you, you boys are the best. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Ferrier. And I've been asked to read an excerpt written by none other than Mr. Lassana Sekou about tanning the boys. And then when I came up the stairs here, Clara tell me, Michael, you gotta hurry up, eh? But they gave me something that is about, easy 20 minutes long. They ain't gonna work. So we're gonna talk about tanning the boys as I remember them. These people, tanning the boys, the original ones I'm talking about, they are, to me, heroes for St. Martin, of St. Martin. They have done a tremendous job in promoting our island. Yes, give them a round of applause. We have, unfortunately, of the original group, only 3 left, which is Eddie and Roosevelt and Belto. And unfortunately, Belto, because of health situations, couldn't be here either. We just lost, this year we lost George, unfortunately. And it's been an amazing ride that these folks have done. They've played and entertained St. Martin for over 60 years, if I remember well. Over 60 years. And we can tell you stories. I mean, I'll read some of it that I was sent to talk about, if I can get this thing. See, this thing used to work so much better when I had pen and paper. Now I got to do it with this. It doesn't work so well. Hold on a second. We're going to figure this out. It's a story that was written by, like I said, it's Lassana Sekou. And as soon as I find it, here it is. Here we go. It started out as follows. He said, Tanning the Boys was the premier string band of St. Martin, and some would dare say in the northeastern Caribbean. The Golden Age musicians who constitute this band play a festive music rooted in traditional St. Martin. The music is as sweetly infectious to the mind, body, and soul as it was to revelers and partygoers for over half of the 20th century, when the string band was a dominant mode of entertainment of parties, which at times lasted all night long. Band leader Nathaniel Tanny Davis played music for 40 years, 45 years in fact. His banjo was made in St. Martin by a fellow called Albert Cox, and that banjo is still alive, I think, right? That's it there. That's the same one there. Show the people. Show the people. Tanny had a way with words. And Tanny used to keep these boys under control, at least he thought so. When you see them get away, and they start to play music, and Tanny wanted to change something, couldn't stop them because they were going, they were moving. It was an amazing thing. And the sounds that the young people know, no, not you, you ain't so young. You're 85 years old, and I said something about Carlson, 85 years old, still playing with the young people. But the sound was excellent. I was standing in the back and closed my eyes, and I could see Maxime, I could see George, I could see Culebra. Now, let me tell you something about Culebra. Culebra was known as the human backhoe. If you want to dig a cistern, you call Culebra. If you want to dig a grave, you call Culebra. If you want to hear a man sing Spanish that nobody understood if it was Spanish, you call Culebra. Culebra used to sing words. I said, Culebra, what I was? What do you want from me? Culebra made his own words, but it was Spanish, he said. He said, he's from Santo Domingo, but I don't know. Culebra was the best. And then Maxime. Maxime started to work at Napa at the tender age of 76. He tell me, he said, Michael, I gotta do something. I'm going crazy. I can't stay in the house. He had a house. He used to live right next to the Burying Ground there in Colsac, across from Food Center. You call that place now? That tells you how old I am. He was living in this house, and he had the windows. He said when the window opened, then a home. Then I passed there 8 o'clock at night, the window closed. And I know, I called for him, he didn't answer. The next day he tell me, he said, boy, the young lady just come see me. So I just closed the window. So she think I gone. And she ain't bother me. This time, no way, went through the back door.
didn't know he was going to come, but I heard he showed up.
The news came to Jesus. Please come fast. Lazarus is sick, and without your help, he will not last. Sister Mary and Martha watched their brother die. They waited for Jesus, he did not come, and they wondered why. The death watch was over, he was buried for a day. Somebody said he'll soon be here, the Lord's on his way. Martha ran to him, and then she cried, Lord, if you had been here, you could have healed him and still be alive. But you're 4 days late, and the hope is gone. Lord, we don't understand why you waited so long. Oh, but his way is God's way, not yours or mine. Isn't it great that he's 4 days late, but he stayed on time? The death watch was over, he was buried for a day. Somebody said he will soon be here, the Lord's on his way. Martha ran to him, and then she cried, Lord, if you had been here, you could have healed him. Still.
Though not having a teaching degree, Miss Farrow earned the title of teacher by giving afternoon classes to the children in her village and surroundings. The afternoon classes included taking care of students from the nearby Martin Luther King School, getting a community center built was her dream and passion. She became the self-appointed supervisor when the Dutch Quarter Community Center was being built, explaining the architects and the contractors about the flow of water and the trenches in the area. During the afternoon classes, which could now be held at the community center, she would guide the students with their homework, make sure they had a meal, and provide childcare as well. But it did not stop there. Miss Farrow also saw the importance of getting involved and assist her friend Debbie of the I CAN Foundation. Which provided housing and care for children in need of a place to call home. Miss Farrow was very weary of persons saying that St. Martin doesn't have a culture. To this, she would respond, culture is taught at home. It is from this principle, she did not just say it, but it is from this principle that Miss Farrow has written her book, The Beauty and Culture of St. Martin. According to Amazon, this book contains the heartfelt writings of Veronica Arndell, a native of St. Martin. She shares a rarely revealed perspective of the cultural challenges of her homeland. Miss Farrow is an icon, a hero of our times. She is still willing to stand up, be strong, and lead, always making an effort, big or small, to share her beliefs and cultural values with others, in particular with youths. As Ms. Farrow says, it takes a village to raise us all. With the respect earned through her hard work and dedication, Ms. Farrow today expresses feelings of contentment, gratitude, and total joy. Ms. Farrow of Dutch Quarter.
On the crowning experience which he relished was the acknowledgement of his extraordinary contribution to the art on St. Martin and beyond, when honored with a royal decoration as a member in the Order of Orion Nassau in 2004. We, however, do not stand still enough to realize and appreciate magnitude of the gift which he has granted us through his outstanding body of work. A body of work crowned with his masterpieces, Mother in Trouble, Portrait of a Man, Cane Cutter, and The Fisherman, and so many others, with my favorite being Mother in Trouble. Those pieces truly are a testimony to his exceptional artistry, rightfully qualifying him to carry the title Master Portrait Artist. Looking at his body of work, we should be reminded that his paintings are too valuable as carriers of our culture and not to cherish, share, and preserve them. On Saturday afternoon, December 22, 2018, Mr. Cynric Nathaniel Griffith passed just a few days shy of his 100th birthday. Thank you.
Intoxicate. Would there be a prayer so evening soft, in a copper flame sunrest of candles, so like your eyes? Could there be a prayer so sweetly named, so like your lips opening unto their dancing slave, the lute of your laughter? Could there be a prayer so like the captive fleece of silver in your hair, slender like a virgin's fingers in flight from your temples, caught in a toss as winged whispers to the want of your neck? Oh, but to touch fevered nostrils once more to the fragrance dew of your skin, that eastern dark of velvet down, and also like your voice saying, yeah, to the tips of your fingers, leaving, receiving the wine of mine, for no reason but a greeting of this and that. So like an eternal touch haunts this pilgrim, who would have knelt in kingly disgrace to rise as an inflamed chariot drawn by the unsheathing bristling of hoven beasts, and revel over your corpulence fine, and pout, though not to consume you just yet, but to worship in vulgar disregard at the mounds to paradise descent, chiseled back for the wealth of youth, with the gasp and seethe and sweat and sheer garments from distances woven to come to this grace. You hear my moment of prayer.
We all know Lassana M. Sekou as a poet, journalist, author, publisher, but I get the distinct privilege to call him friend and the honor to introduce him this evening. It is a friendship spanning 40 years, based on mutual respect, our love for St. Martin people, and our advocacy for independence for our homeland. Thank you. In all of his over 20 books of poetry, short stories, monologues, and essays, the one constant for Lassana remains the love for humanity and all things St. Martin, whether it be language, landscape, people, or even politics. Reviewers have compared his poetry to the works of poets such as Aimé Césaire, Oswald Mitchali, Kamau Brathwaite, Dylan Thomas, E.E. Cummins, and Linton Kwesi Johnson. Awards and honors include an International Writers' Workshop Visiting Fellow, China, a James Michener Fellow, USA, recognition for literary excellence in the service of Caribbean unity, Dominican Republic, a knighthood, Netherlands, the CTO Awards of Excellence, St. Martin, no? And a judge for the Casa de las Americas Literary Prize, Cuba, Small Axe Literary Competition, USA, and the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts, Barbados. And tonight, the Sage Awards, St. Martin. I've given you just a hint of Lasana's works and what he represents in the world of literature. But if you really want to get a better understanding of the man and his works, I suggest you read Salted Tongues, Modern Literature in St. Martin by Fabian Barijo, Love, Labor, and Liberation in Lasana Sekou by Howard Fergus, and Caribbean Counterpoint, The Aesthetics of Salt in Lasana Sekou, all published right here in St. Martin by House of Nehesi Publishers. Ladies and gentlemen, the honor and the privilege is mine to present to you my friend, Lasana Mwanza Sekou.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Hey, boy. Mele, I tell you, Mele. In the market, under the sandbox tree. Hey, Trium, Russian fisherman Nando. But only the aristocrat woman daughter he want. He gave her a special token of love from the sea. A seashell. Seashell, seashell. It's a pearl from the sea, mean the sound of love. It gives you note and sound to remember. I love you. I love you. You see, love making is an art. Love making is an art, but you must safeguard it. Safeguard it from yourself so that no one may harm it. I tell you, 3 local women, 3 of them rushing for one man. Eh, you must use bush tea, bush medicine. Bush bath is good for you. Mele, I tell you, Mele. Ho, under the sandbox tree. They pong in Mele and I pong in Ara. They pong in Mele and I pong in Ara. They pong in Mele and I pong in Ara to make makwakwa and dancing Higa Bonda, big old Bonda, water Bonda, pounding Ara, mixing Ara, Higa Bonda, water Bonda, hey! She there entertaining fisherman with his fresh fish. I tell you, the 2 of them, 2 women in the market selling the goods. One selling provision, banana, yam, toloman, pumpkin, sweet potato, tea bush, guava berry to make your national drink. Best market day is Wednesday and Saturday. You hear what I tell you? Best market day is Wednesday and Saturday. You can get everything. I tell you, anything and everything fresh. From morning dew. Cooking St. Martin National Fish Provision Cornmeal on Saturday. What it be? St. Martin National Dish. Fish Provision Cornmeal on a Saturday. The next one say, she from here. She selling sugar cakes, pinda sweet, mint sweet, ginger cakes, milk sweet, coconut sugar cakes, coconut tarts. The whole works, but everybody with she. And here what she gonna come tell me? Local sweet tastes better for you. Local sweet tastes better for you. Hey boy, culture is music. Culture is music. Keep you always moving in a natural trim. I tell you, tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Hey, boy. Mele for so. In the market, under the sandbox tree. I tell you to what Shriyam, I tell you. Who they were? Fisherman Nando. Yes, my girl. To start up with Fisherman Nando, you know, he liked the aristocrat woman daughter from up the island. But she family, they don't want he for her. But he best preference is she from up there. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Hey, boy. Mele, I tell you, mele for so. Under the sandbox tree. But you see, let me tell you something. Sophie and Mary with him too. He pressed with them, and they pressed with he. But he brings something for who? From the sea, for who? Under the sandbox tree, he bring it. For the aristocrat woman daughter. But he too full of bygones. What a thing. Come see what he gave her. Under the sandbox tree. Wild, tired old lady, Miss Jeanette, full of pain and cramp. She full of pain and cramp. For who? Nando. Just get a trap of fish for Miss Jeanette and show him the local dance. She call it the rumba, rumba. Say, Martin, rumba, rumba. Eh, eh, eh. You must dance and you must respect we older people. Always help them. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. I tell all you, mele. Hey, under the sandbox tree, seashell, seashell, seashell. Seashell was one time the survival means on this island. Conch shell was the sound of notification, communication, announcing wedding, selling from fish to meat, passing a message for events. It was the sound of music, even the sound of the dead. Love, I tell you, love for the conch shell from the sea, a taste of love. But the melody done. Sharp man come down now. But he fighting with Nando. For who now? The aristocrat woman daughter. He say he had a fuss. She my own. Well, let me tell you. Never leave no man on you. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. By Laurel Yaya Richards. Thank you. My name is Melissa Foreman.
I am Ashana Nisbet, and I am honored to be here with you to pay tribute to the one and only Miss Anastasia Larmoni. Something that's very special to me, my isle so small and yet so great. Completely surrounded by the sea, capturing every breath of me. She gave rise to a beautiful wave of voices all across this aisle. Voices of the lollipops, Walichi voices and interlude, the ambougelets of which I'm a product. Juffrouw, thank you for showing and teaching us poise, discipline, and musicality. No matter where I roam, no matter where I go, St. Martin, my isle, in the Caribbean, will always be the place called home. Picturesque chains of mountains, pearl-like sand by the sea. The wonderful smiles of real people, capturing every breath of me. No matter where I go, no matter where I roam, St. Martin, my isle in the Caribbean, will always be the place called home. I will always remember the music that permeated on Saturday morning with the choir in your home. Many of the musical artists on the island, who we are, who I am, musically, entirely, is because of you, Juffrouw. Thank you.
I called one of the young people who had the opportunity to be taught by Mr. Bailey. And fortunately, he was on stage tonight. He was on stage tonight. But he's no longer here, and I hope he's somewhere in the audience. And I said to him, I want you to tell me what Mr. Bailey stood for. Who is Mr. Bailey? And he said to me, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to write it down for you. He sent me 2 pages of information. 2 pages of information of his experience with Mr. Bailey. And he told me Mr. Bailey was a man who had a tremendous love for St. Martin. I knew that, but I wanted to hear it from somebody else. He had a tremendous love for St. Martin. So tremendous that whenever you touched St. Martin, actually you touched Mr. Bailey. You touched him because he thought at that moment that you were doing something that was going to be counterproductive for this beautiful island. And Mr. Bailey showed that in all kinds of ways. This young man told me I should share one of these these stories with you. But one of the stories was, for instance, that Mr. Bailey came to the class, and as a young teacher in Cold Bay, there was one young man from Cold Bay who wanted to show off, as we call it. He wanted to show you what he could do. Am I going over time? Yes. I'm going to close off right now. He wanted to show you what he could do. And he said, Mr. Bailey, who was very wanting to do something for his people in Cold Bay. Mind you, he wanted to do something for his people in Cold Bay. Grabbed this young man and put him in a chair in the back. And this incident went ahead, and it caused a lot of resentment, I would call it, in Cold Bay. Mr. Bailey had a tremendous love for St. Martin, and never a moment did he have a hate for the island. Thank you very much. I would want to call, because some of you might not know, his daughter forward.
St. Martin is we zone. Our forefathers came here from faraway lands, crossing the ocean from Europe to Asia and Africa to this sweet sugar cane and soft sea cotton island where they just put down their boots and planted their roots. Some came to explore, some came to escape, while others were brought here against their will to plant their fields and to toil the soil, to grow their crops and to reap their salt. We labor from dawn to dusk in those salt ponds after giving of our blood, sweat, and tears for 400 years. Emancipation finally came. And without any questions, we were promised an empty commission. But when situations started getting tougher, it was only then the master run away further to better life for he and leave we here to suffer. But we fight back and we managed to survive. So now, as their offspring, we claiming this land for we. And everything that on it is we zone. So every galing and every pelican is we zone. Every rock stone in the gut and every blade of grass is we zone. The flamboyant trees that bloom in June and July is we zone. Every slave wall that is still standing is we zone. The dance Panam with Miss Neezy Lewis from Freetown is we zone. Yaya with your pretty color frock is we zone. The Sham Mangoes in La Colombe is we zone. We sweet Pomseret and we Guinep in Colombe is we zone. And we tamarind and every almond tree in Fresby is we zone. The sour sap and the sugar apple in Latry is we zone. The golden apple and Margot Pa in Cripplegate is we zone. The fried Johnny cake with saltfish and bush tea is we zone. The peppermint drop and coconut cake and Miss Manda sugar cake is we zone. The arrowroot porridge in the morning as we wake is we zone. The dry cassava bread and sugar and water in the afternoon is we zone. We pigtail and red bean soup dash with sugar in a spoon is we zone. The scent of the sweet potato pudding slowly baking in we rock oven is we zone. We coconut tart and we guava berry punch for Christmas is we zone. The pigeon peas and rice with a piece of pigtail inside so nice is we zone. Every lime tree that we can see is we zone. We Saturday dish of cornmeal, dumpling and stew fish is we zone. The fungi and fried jackfish is we zone. The cornmeal stirred with okra is we zone. Buy a fish boil up banana, yam, tanya seed, sweet cassava is we zone. The cornmeal pap, the flour pap, they too is we zone. The morning breakfast with droppers and milk is we zone. Oh, sweet St. Martin land, even though we run away thousands of miles from her shores to seek a better means of livelihood, we still come back to her because she's we's own. Thank you.